Hey everybody, it's Toys of Arkham here. I'm back with another review, and if you follow my channel, you will have probably seen the last two videos, which involve very disturbing and horrible looking horror characters. So it's time to lighten the mood and do a review of the McFarlane Theatrical Edition of Superman from the new Superman movie, and of course Krypto. And this is a great little figure. Tough one to get at the moment, obviously, with the movie having been released probably over a month at this stage. This movie is particularly popular at the moment, and there is a standard version of this figure that doesn't come with Krypto. I don't believe it has a fabric cape, and this one also is quite unique insofar as it has switch out face plates, which is cool. So we've got this one here with the red eyes, a sort of a blank expression, maybe determined or slightly angry, I suppose, so it's not that blank. And we have an upside down face. Now we have a bit of a lighter mood face, and these just simply clip in at the front of the sculpt. And there are just these two hands, a fist and an open hand. And then you've got the flight pose hands that I have on the figure itself. So just a quick word about the movie. I went with my 9-year-old to see it, and he would have seen the movies from Zack Snyder, the Batman, the Batman vs. Superman and the Man of Steel, and of course the Justice League. So he would have seen that version of Superman. I have two younger children that wanted to see this movie, but because they're only 6 and 4, I was a little bit reluctant to bring them to the cinema because I just was not sure just how dark it would get. I was hopeful, having seen the trailer and the involvement of Krypto the dog and the general tone of the trailer, that it would be a little bit more of a brighter take on the character. And sure enough, having seen the movie, I'm really happy to see Superman as a character going back to the original take of the character, which would be just a genuine good guy, full of integrity and kindness, and that definitely came across in this movie. To be honest with you, I did enjoy Man of Steel, but as the character progressed throughout the rest of the movies, I would say 75% of the time, Superman was conflicted. He had some sort of a personality adjustment disorder, or was dead, or was just a pure out and out bad guy. So I didn't like that unhinged version of Superman. I prefer my wholesome Superman, just a pure good guy. And this was a return to form. So I decided to let my 6-year-old and 4-year-old watch the movie after having seen it. And they love it. They've been watching it multiple times. It is a bit dark at times. There is darkness in it. But the overall kind of never give up and hope that is in the movie, that kind of message, it's good for kids. You know, I enjoy it as just a pure popcorn movie, and I just like that there's a version of Superman now for them to kind of look at and enjoy. So sorry, I'm going off in a rant, but let's just say I enjoyed the movie. So let's have a look at a little Krypto here. Krypto was a fun little character in the movie. So that's a real material cape that's on the dog. The fabric is nice. Can't pose it in any way. There's no wire in it. His ear is stuck like that. That's the way he was in the movie. Apparently David Gunn, who was the director, modeled Krypto off a real dog that maybe it's a friend of his owns the dog. But that particular dog's ear was always stuck up, so they just went with that sort of version of a dog with a wonky ear. And yeah, Krypto was pretty cool in it. Obviously, if you've seen the movie, you'll see how he has a sort of a satisfying scene at the end with Lex Luthor. It's pretty cool and funny. So overall, this suit in the movie is bright, and it was vibrant, and obviously it has the kind of pants on the outside look, which I like. It's the return to the original look of Superman. And yeah, this is, look, it's a McFarlane figure. It's not going to have all the greatest detail. I have ordered the Hot Toys figure, but in terms of likeness to David, I think his surname is Cornsweat. I think it's pretty decent for a McFarlane figure. And it has a little hair curl at the front. And as far as the cape goes, it's really nice. As I said, it has a wire in it so you can bend it whichever way. And I like the Superman symbol at the back of the suit. The proportions are good. Articulation is great. The joints aren't too stiff. It's just a fun figure. And if you have a figure stand for him, you could put him in great poses. Generally, very happy with the figure. And at retail, he'd be about €35, so well worth it. I think there is another sort of a step up from this from a company called Fonjoy. That looks good too, but it doesn't have switch out head sculpts or expressions. But this is just a placeholder really until the Hot Toys one comes out. In Art, of course, have done a version of it. I think my view on that particular figure is it looks obviously amazing, but it just isn't as colourful as the Hot Toys figure. Maybe it's the lighting or promotional photographs, but it just looks more vibrant and more accurate to the tone of the movie. In Art, have gone down that slightly darker, realistic look, and I'm just fed up with this real serious, dark take on Superman. So I wanted him as bright and vibrant as I could get him. So that's why I'm going to go with the Hot Toys figure. It just looks more in line with the tone of the movie. But anyway, just as I said, just a quick little review of a figure that I suppose is from a movie that's a little bit more lighthearted. I was getting stuck into horrible horror characters for a bit, and we just needed to lighten the tone. So there you go. Be interested to hear what you might have thought of the movie. As I said, for my children, I'm happy that there's a Superman that they can, get some inspiration from. I mean, he got beat up an awful lot in that movie, but he never gave up, and that's the important thing. And he wasn't afraid to face the tough decisions that he had to make. And when I was growing up, I loved Smallville, and I think at a time in my life when I was a late teens, early adulthood, early 20s, watching that show just made me want to be a better person, be a bit more kind, think about others a bit more. And if there is a version of that character now for my children to look at that has that similar quality, I'm happy with that. So I'm looking at this film and this character through the eyes of a father rather than a fan. But that being said, I loved it myself. So anyway, I will talk to you all soon. Hope you enjoyed that review. You might like, comment, and consider subscribing if you want to see some more cool figure reviews. Talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.